I'm called a hero. I don't feel like a hero.
Teressa Stroble still remembers the morning of May 9th, 2017. Well,
My route is in the Greer area.
it was a pretty typical morning for the Spartanburg County bus driver. With a bus full of students, her mind was on the Bible. She'd just finished reading the Book of Chronicles that morning.
So I was talking to the Holy Spirit about that and thanking Him and all that.
And Stroble says the Holy Spirit guided her through what happened just minutes later.
I saw a student standing in the back, and my first thought was fight, but I said, what are y'all doing? And then that's when another ninth grader said, Miss Stroble, the bus is on fire. I think I did like a quick gasp. I needed to find a place where I could get them all safely, and I drove a little farther, saw the car wash pulled up in there.
It couldn't have been more than 45 seconds from the time I got out of the bed till I actually got into the yard.
Meanwhile, the commotion caught David Porter's attention. He lives across the street from where the bus ended up.
I ran out and I saw a school bus on fire.
A fire so hot and so intense there was nothing Porter could do but document the carnage to give the coroner an idea of exactly what happened.
I thought everyone was dead. I had that sinking feeling that everyone was dead.
Little did he know, a heroic bus driver had quickly gotten all the students out and led them to a safe distance down the street. Later that day, she saw Porter's video.
The first time I saw it, I turned my head.
The state superintendent of education saw the video too.
Well, I remember the look on my staff's faces when they come in to tell me that we've had another incident. And then when I saw the video, it was very scary. I want us to do the right thing.
The right thing to Molly Spearman, replacing buses like this one, a 1995 Thomas Type D. Spearman says back in the mid-90s, the state of South Carolina bought about 2,000 of those rear-engine 1995 buses, and now, 20 years later, about half of those buses are still on the road, and Molly Spearman says that's a problem.
The issues are with the engine being in the back, and if they get hot, smoke, and that heat can cause problems.
The state calls them thermal events, and there have been 108 since 1995. 86 of those were in Type D buses. New data sent to WIS details the various bus fires since 2013.
Man in South North.
The state says a short in the rear heater motor caused the fire in Spartanburg County. Before that, this fire at Dutch Fork Elementary, also a 1995 Thomas Type D bus. The document shows a couple more thermal events in the Beaufort area in the past few years, some in Richland, Aiken, and Sumter too.
We need about $34 million a year dedicated to the replacement of buses.
Months ago, Governor Henry McMaster vetoed about $20 million in surplus lottery funds that would have gone to buying new buses. As a new year of school begins, lawmakers still haven't taken up that veto. Even though Spearman hopes lawmakers will override the governor's veto when they return in January, she does agree with the governor that they need a permanent fix instead of one-time money.
We need the legislature to understand that we need a recurring line item for bus replacement. The state of South Carolina is growing, and the $34 million really just meets the replacement of where we are now.
It'll cost about $102 million to replace the Type D 1995 buses alone.
Holy Spirit is my helper.
It's a bus that Stroble and her students survived on a day that's still burned in her memory.
One thing that comes back to my mind, when I was in college, I heard a poem a lot.
And on that day, she thought of the poem again. Quote, "I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it."